What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we need to take a look at some weird stuff that's going on in the One Piece card game, and it's all related to OP-14. Now, one of the cool things that's happened since we last had a chat about OP-14 is that the official Twitter threw out proper scans of the Boa Hancock and Dracula Mihawk leaders. We don't really need to talk about them, we've already talked about them, we know what they do, I've told you all of that, they both look really good, but it's nice that we got proper scans, that's rather lovely. But you see, these were thrown out in a magazine. This is where they came from. And it turns out people have been sharing around scans of the magazine. And there's another thing which we saw in the magazine, which now looks incredibly relevant, and it is a little splash of all seven Warlords of the Sea, in a way which really strongly seems to suggest that they are going to be the leaders, because it does include Dracula Mihawk, who we know is getting a leader, and Boa Hancock, who we know is getting a leader. Shout out to OP-01_soda, by the way, on X for sharing this. And it's got Crocodile, who, from the front of the pack, we don't know is getting a leader, but we can deduce pretty strongly is going to be getting a leader. And of course, we've got that Miss Valentine, the Black Miss Valentine in EBO3, which again would suggest very strongly that there is a black, or at least part black, Crocodile leader coming in OP-14. And the rumours have been persisting for a while that we're going to be getting 7 leaders. So it does make perfect sense that they would be showing this as a splash of like, hey, here are the 7 leaders. They may well even be the alternate arts, that they're going to use for the leader cards. Not guaranteed, obviously, but, there's a pretty good chance, I would say. The thing is, what? I have 2 issues with this. My first issue is, seriously, are we actually not getting a Bartholomew Kuma leader? It's about time. We're on OP-14. We've just had that storyline in the manga/anime about Bartholomew Kuma and Jewelry Bonnie and all of that. The fans want a Bartholomew Kuma leader. This seems to suggest that we're getting 7 Warlords of the Sea, but we're not getting Bartholomew Kuma, which is absurd. The bigger issue I have here is canonically this is gibberish. Now, my prediction for the 7 Warlords of the Sea was that they were essentially going to pick a time period, pluck the 7 Warlords out of that time period, and that was going to be what we had in terms of the 7 Warlords of the Sea here. And I suggested rather strongly that, like the Treasure Cup playmat we had very, very early on in the game, we were going to get the early 7 Warlords of the Sea. Gecko Moria, Don Quixote do Flamingo, Dracula Mihawk, Crocodile Jinbei, Boa Hancock, Bartholomew Kuma. That made sense. In what world are we getting Law instead of Kuma? Because that's literally what they've done here. They've given us the early 7 Warlords of the Sea, but for some reason that I cannot fathom, we've got Law instead of Kuma. Law didn't become a warlord until after Crocodile had left. And honestly, kind of after Marineford, we lost a bunch of warlords. I like Jinbei, for instance, resigned at that point. And we also lost Gecko Moria around about that time. So I'm sorry, but from a chronological standpoint, I don't get it. I don't know why this 7 makes sense. Take out Law, stick in Bartholomew Kuma, and I'm like, oh cool, it's the original 7 Warlords of the Sea. This is a weird configuration that I don't like, and it doesn't make much sense. And where's my Bartholomew Kuma leader? Seriously! The only hope I've got here, and I do think it is a big hope, so just hold on for a second, because there is a genuine chance that something is planned here. They cannot just keep stringing us along. They know at this stage that maybe the biggest character that needs a leader that has yet to get one is Bartholomew Kuma. I think that's right. Let me know in the comment section if I missed somebody even more obvious. So there is a real genuine chance here that what they're doing is going, no, we're not doing it in OP-14 because we've got something bigger and better planned down the line. I really hope that's the case, because right now it just seems like we've randomly lost Kuma so we can get another lore. And it's not that I don't like lore. Lore is fine. The problem is we've had multiple lore leaders. Now, to be fair, the lore leaders do actually all tend to be really very good. You know, obviously headlined by the one from Starter Deck 10, which literally had to get banned, it was so good. But then we also had the one from OP-01, which in the early days of the game was great. Less good more recently, but has had some very strong times. And then the one from OP-10 is maybe not as good as the other two, but absolutely has seen play and success. So we've had 3 Trafalgar lore leaders. They've all been good. One of them was so good it literally had to get banned, and we're passing over Bartholomew Kuma so that we can get another lore. Help me out here, dudes, because I don't get this. Now, to be clear, I'm having a look here. My Japanese is not perfect, but I can read stuff like this. There's nothing in here which basically says, hey, here are your 7 leaders for the set. It's basically said about a dream match between 7 warriors and all of that, so fine. But come on, ladies and gentlemen. Boo! Seriously, I'm like legitimately upset about this. I don't appreciate the fact that Bartholomew Kuma's missing out so we can get a 3rd lore leader. Don't like it. Don't approve. Boo! While we're talking about OP-14 stuff that we kind of know something but not all that much, how about the upcoming Boa Hancock promo, which is coming in the next issue of V-Jump magazine? Because yeah, there is. That is happening. Shout out to _Peace TCG, who did tweet out this image from the most recent issue of V-Jump. Seriously, when you buy a Japanese magazine like V-Jump or Psycho Jump, one of the ones that has promos, one of the first things you need to do is skip to the next month section, because in the next month section, they are going to show you what's coming, and if there's promo cards, well, there's always promo cards. They tell you which promo card to come in. Now, for this Boa Hancock, essentially what they're showing us here is, we're getting it, this is the artwork, but that's all we unfortunately get. At the bottom there, it just says included card Boa Hancock. That's how you know there's a card actually coming in the magazine. And then in the top right, it talks about like Pyra, Empress included, blah, blah, blah. So basically it's saying we're getting this card in the next month. This is almost certainly the artwork, because when they do these teasers in magazines like V-Jump, they tend to use the artwork. They used to give us a little bit of a hint at the card, or sometimes they actually, in the early days of One Piece promos, sometimes they just legitimately show us. But for instance, here is the tease they gave us for the Trafalgar Law promo a little while ago. And then, of course, here is the card we got. And we were like, oh yeah, cool. Lovely. And yes, Trafalgar Law does get way too much love in the One Piece card game compared to other characters. And I'm not always necessarily in favor of this, but there's not much we can do about it now. One thing to bear in mind at this stage, though, is that when we get these promos, it is matched to the new set. So this is a promo that is coming around about the time of OP-14. So we're getting a promo card that matches a leader, in this case Boa Hancock, from OP-14. So yes, it is a Boa Hancock promo. It is going to be either blue or yellow, and it is going to match the leader in some way, shape, or form. The leader, as a quick reminder, on your opponent's turn, when you play a character, draw a card. Not limited to once per turn. So this Boa Hancock having something like Trigger, for instance, allowing you to play it on your opponent's turn. Yeah, that would be pretty important, and yeah, that would work quite nicely. We've then got Don X1 once per turn. When your original power, 5,000 or higher, Amazon Lily or Kuja Pirates character is KO'd, you can make your opponent take the top card of their life to their hand, which is obviously pretty good as well. Could be a really strong leader. So it's going to be some kind of Boa Hancock promo, which is supporting that. And like I say, I think a yellow card with trigger that lets you play it would be pretty relevant, honestly. I think that could be fun. Either way, ladies and gentlemen, I've told you what you need to know. So now it's over to you guys. How hyped are you for OP-14? Are you gutted that it really looks like we're not getting a Bartholomew Kuma leader? Are you delighted that Law's back again with another leader? Because, you know, we really need one of those. What do you think about this Boa Hancock? Let me know in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi. That's where we talk about One Piece and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, join a Discord, and all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wasi Plays.